Hello and welcome to Pock and Rob. Today's video is part 8 of our top 100s of all time, and I'm doing this with my son Joel, also known as FoxEatingNuggets on YouTube. You can check out his channel by following the link in the description below. As we've said on every single one of these videos, we're not going into 30 down to 21 one by one. We're kind of doing them in batches of 10. We rate these songs roughly similar to each other. Before we dive in on that, I just remind you to like the video, subscribe and hit the bell to receive notifications. I've hit 50 subscribers, and so that's a big achievement. I might do something special next week. So Joel, it's your turn to start. So if you want to kick off for this batch of 10, which is 30 through to 21.
So my first song is by probably my favourite band, which is Green Day. And it is Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
From American Idiot.
Yeah.
And a top 5 single, I think, in the UK. Really, really good song. Has got some language in it, but I have provided you with the version without the language, where things are nuffed up instead of what it normally says.
My friend sang it for a singing exam because I suggested him, and he said messed up.
Which is a better line than nuffed up, I have to admit. My first pick from this batch is a emo rock band called My Chemical Romance, and it's their biggest hit. It reached number 1 in the UK. It's The Black Parade. What a song. Absolutely phenomenal. It's got shades of Queen about it. It's got a slower build. It's frenetic in places. It's an absolutely fantastic song. Really reminds me of another song that I may well be mentioning a little bit later in this video, but you have to see what that is when I get there.
So my next track is by a different rock band, and that is Muse. Not
Good
really
band, Muse.
rock, but it is.
Yeah, they are.
Hysteria.
From Absolution.
Yeah.
And again, a successful single. That is a phenomenal song. I believe I already had it in one of my videos. I think it might be my favourite Muse track. The next track I have in this batch is by my favourite band in the whole wide world, which you already know is the Beatles if you've watched any videos on this channel. It's from 1963 and their second album with the Beatles, It's All My Loving. This is an important song to me, not just because it's a great pop song by McCartney, but also because I used to sing this to my daughter before she was born. You might have heard in a previous video me referring to Penny Lane and the fact that I used to do that for him before he was born. Well, All My Loving is the one I did for my daughter.
Yeah. My next track is another Green Day. Also from American Idiot, and it is Holiday.
Great track, can't fault it.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good fun track. I like the almost rap bit in the middle, and I don't like rap normally. Also, Zig Heil to the Resident Gas Man. I mean, it's an absolutely fantastic song. Yeah. Holiday. My next selection is by a band that I am going to go and see live next week.
And I'm jealous, I want to go.
Next Saturday, we're recording in the evening on the Saturday. I will be in Cannock watching Keane live. And I will desperately be hoping that they play Sovereign Light Cafe from the album Strangeland.
This might be coming up in a future video.
We may hear this song again. It's a superb song. I've gigged it both as a band and acoustically solo. I think it's a strong, indestructible song. Sovereign Light Cafe. We've also been to Bexhill-on-Sea and seen the Sovereign Light Cafe. And the song is full of fibs about the stuff around. There is no pier at Bexhill where the Sovereign Light Cafe is, but it's a great song.
On the pier, for that matter.
Your turn.
Yeah. My next song is by the Beatles, like your one.
Okay.
It is Blackbird.
Now, if you watch previous videos, you'll already know that he said that this was his favourite Beatles song, I think. And
I did say the name of what it was, but I said that
this is your favourite Beatles song, isn't it?
Yeah.
From White Album 1968, and I had it on my list.
It just got destroyed it got made bad. by Boss Baby.
Well, no, the song can't be destroyed.
That's
it's
true.
that good. I love playing this on guitar as well.
It just shouldn't have featured in Boss Baby.
My next pick is by a band that has already been mentioned in terms of the fact that My Chemical Romance have elements of that in Black Parade. It is Queen, and the song I have got on this list at the moment is The Show Must Go On from Innuendo. This was their final track on the final album before Freddie's death. Whether or not this was one of the very last things he recorded, I don't know. I do know that Brian May said, "Are you sure you can sing this, Fred?" Because he was so ill at the time. And Freddie said, "I'll effing do it, darling." And he delivered, for me, one of his very best ever vocal performances. And The Show Must Go On, even now when I hear it, knowing how unwell he was, that this was their last single release before he died, there is a little bit of a kind of like the lump in the throat when you listen to it. I adore The Show Must Go On.
Yeah, it's already been on my list.
And yes, it was already on your list, so.
So, my next track is another Green Day song.
Yeah. Now,
It's not from American Idiot this time.
now, knowing that we've recorded this once already, I know what's coming up on this list. Get ready to hear that a lot. Go on.
It's not from American Idiot this time.
No.
This time it's from 21st Century Breakdown.
The follow-up album.
And it is Viva La Gloria, brackets, Little Girl.
Fun, bouncy song. I really enjoy it. I like most of that album. We did run to that together for a while. That's
Yeah, and I
where you
used
first got
think
to
it
like it, I think.
swore.
It doesn't swear.
I know.
Unlike many Green Day songs.
When it says running with shears, I thought it said a different word. Yeah.
So for me, from one great 70s rock band, Queen, to another with Led Zeppelin, and I have placed Stairway to Heaven. Song often cited as one of the best ever. There was a time when I thought it was overrated. I'd probably heard it too much. It had become a bit of a joke. Things like Wayne's World, where you weren't allowed to play it in guitar shops. But listening to it again when I was listening to Led Zeppelin 4 recently, just reminds me what a phenomenal song Stairway to Heaven really is. It's incredible, and you quite like it, although you wouldn't ever put it in your tops at the moment. That may change. It changed for me. I would never have included it in my top 100 maybe 10, 15 years ago, but as I've aged, the song's matured for me as well.
So, my next track is not Green Day. It's Alan Walker.
Oh.
The other
Yes.
one that appears a lot. And it is All Falls Down from Different World.
Which is a good song. I can't fault the song. It's All Falls Down is really, really probably the best track on Different World.
Swore.
I didn't think it swore.
It does swear once. And it also says F you, but not
Oh
the
yes, yeah. But it's got a good melody. But yeah, you're right, I don't like the fact that it swears. But that said, I've got songs in this list that swear.
word. Yeah.
Step back another decade for my next pick, from the 1970s into the 60s, and it's the Beach Boys. And the only Beach Boys track that I put on this list, it's by far my favourite, it's God Only Knows, from Pet Sounds.
What I'd be without you.
Pet Sounds is an album that I think personally is overrated. Don't flame me, but it would never make my top 60s albums. In fact, it didn't. But God Only Knows is a sublime track.
So my next track is another Green Day song. And it is Wake Me Up When September Ends.
I'm not going to say anything about it because it might be coming up soon.
Well, it's very fun and very dark.
We'll talk about it in a future video.
Yeah.
My next pick is probably the oldest song on my entire list of hundreds. And in fact, it's not a song. Because I have a little bit wider in my taste, this is a piece of classical music. It is the Overture from Carmen by Bizet. There are few pieces of music that contain two absolutely cracking tunes in there. So you've got the March of the Toreadors, which is the central bit, but you've also got the frenetic parts on either side of it. It's a gorgeous piece of music, the overture from Carmen. Really, really fantastic.
So my next track is not a Green Day song. It's another Muse song.
Okay, so 2 Muse and countless Green Days at the moment.
Yeah, and it is Starlight from Black Holes and Revelations.
I really like the song. It's a great pop single.
Yeah.
Probably, for me, the standout track on Black Holes and Revelations.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in the mood for Nights of Sidonia and I want a little bit of bonkers, westernish kind of sound. But Starlight is absolutely mint.
Yeah.
So I've just had a overture from an opera, and I'm going to stick with the operatic style theme for my next pick, which is Queen again, and it can only be Bohemian Rhapsody. What hasn't been said about Bohemian Rhapsody, other than the fact that it's terrific?
Everybody knows
absolutely
the
brilliant.
words.
Everybody knows the words.
And then choir teachers, even though everybody knows the words, complains about it being too difficult.
Well, it's really hard to sing the middle section.
Yeah.
Queen never performed the middle section live. They always used a tape and left the stage when that part came on.
So they
There are 5 different parts to the song. There's the opening a cappella bit. There's the piano-led section that leads into the operatic section. Then there's the rock section, and then there's the return to the outro. There's no chorus to the song, and yet 9 weeks at number 1, followed by, after he died, 5 weeks at number 1. Bohemian Rhapsody is, I believe, the 3rd best-selling single in the entirety of the UK, but that was over 2 releases, and it's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, I love that song as well, but it's not this pick. It's another Green Day song, and it is from American Idiot again, and it is Extraordinary Girl.
I'm surprised this is in your top 100. I think it's a decent song. It's bookended by Before the Lobotomy in the stage show, and it really, really works. But I wouldn't have put it in my favourite Green Days, but no account for taste.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, sticking with a slightly operatic theme, and certainly slightly classical theme, I've got a track by Elton John, and it is Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. This 11-minute epic is an instrumental first half of about 5 minutes, and it's just building, and it's atmospheric, almost classical. And then there is the Love Lies Bleeding vocal song that is then merged with it, and it's phenomenal. I saw Elton John live in 2003 on the Songs from the West Coast tour, and I had a list of songs I would have loved him to play, and top of my list was this, and he opened the concert with it, and it was phenomenal. I was really shocked that he did it, and then he bowed to every corner of the auditorium on one song.
My last song is another Green Day song.
So is this 6 Green Day, 2 Muse,
1
and Alan Walker,
and 1 Beatles.
and a Beatles?
Yep.
Okay, what's the Green Day song that you've put on this section?
It's not from American Idiot
Well,
or
21st.
21st Century Breakdown. It's from Warning, and it is Warning.
Oh, yes. Listening to this the other day on the album, and Warning is a good track. It's a little bit more acoustic in style than most Green Day tracks, and it's the better for it. My final selection is by a band called Disturbed. They are a very heavy metal band. I don't like them. I don't like their music. But when they covered Sound of Silence, it blew me away. And so effectively, this pick is Sound of Silence, but it has to be the Disturbed cover version because it is so good. It's one of those rare examples of a cover version that I think absolutely outstrips the original. And the original is a 60s classic. If you've never heard it, go and check it out. because the vocalist delivers such a good vocal on this. It's probably my favourite cover version of all time, actually, because it's just so good. It has to be that version.
Yeah.
So that concludes 30 to 21 of our 100 songs of all time. All that remains to say is to remind you to like the video, hit the subscribe button and increase our number from 50, hit the bell to receive notifications, and me and him will see you in a fortnight, and I'll be back on my own in a week. Until then, thanks for watching.